Do you struggle with consistency? Do you know exactly what you should be focusing on, but never quite do enough to get results from your efforts? If so, this video is for you.
I am the CEO and founder of Selfmastered, which is a high-performance training company. We help entrepreneurs and business leaders scale their businesses by teaching them 8 core high-performance skills that allow them to operate at peak potential when managing their businesses.
Now, before we dive deep, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any video, and more importantly, you do not miss out on the special promotions that we do for subscribers. We're giving away tools, programs, and courses that save them hundreds of hours per year. So don't miss out on that. The single most important quality that all successful people have is not IQ, is not connection, is not their academic achievements. It's something that is way more simple, yet somewhat elusive for most people in today's frantic society, which is the ability to remain consistent for long enough to see results on their effort. And in this video, I'm going to give you a very clear framework that you can use to be disgustingly committed to the things that matter so you get the results you deserve. And the first step is, number 1, ask yourself, why do you do what you do? Because chances are that you are not consistent on the things you normally do because you do not care about them, because you have not selected those activities yourself, because you do not intimately care about that. So it's not a consistency problem, it's an engagement problem. You're not engaged with the task, and therefore you cannot be consistent. So the number 1 thing you need to do is ask yourself, do you really want to do this? Do you really care about the thing? And if the answer is yes, then you go to step number 2. And if the answer is no, is look for ways of not doing it, because you cannot remain consistent on the things you do not inherently like or care about. Number 2, focus. Discard everything else. The average human living in 2022 is a distracted human being that cannot focus for long enough on the things that matter. So the number 1 thing you need to do after you know for a fact that the things you should be focusing on because they are important to you, they're connected to your why, and they make sense in relation to the journey that you have embarked yourself upon, is discarding everything else. Is making sure you remove as much noise from the equation as possible so you're only left with the things that are actually meaningful. Once you do less of the things that should not be done and do more of the things that actually matter, you will find yourself naturally gravitating to a whole new level of functioning, because all your attention will be directed to the things that actually bring progress to your life. 3, architect your environment. You've heard me say this time and time again, but it is true nonetheless. It is not enough to remove the noise. You need to prevent the noise from coming back into your life. And how do you do that? Well, by architecting your life and work to avoid that noise from coming back. Do not entertain friendships that do not add to your life. Do not take on jobs that do not help you transform into the person you want to be. Do not chase meaningless business objectives that do not matter. You need to make sure that everything and anything around you and inside of you, all your thoughts, actions, and emotions, but all your tasks, processes, and systems are directed to the same focused goal, because that's how you become consistent. When everything around you is pushing you towards doing the thing that you need to be doing, guess what? You do it. And that's how you become consistent. 4, and this is more like a tactical tip, but it's super important nonetheless, is schedule those things. And in fact, I would even go a little further, is schedule all of those things that you want to be consistent at the same time every week. So there's no thought involved. The reason that I'm able to be disgustingly consistent with this YouTube channel is because I am recording at the same time every single week with Merlin Frias, the fantastic teammate that is in charge of multimedia production. He's always the same person I'm working with, it's always the same setup, it's always the same time of the week. And the only thing that changes is the content that we want to work on. And that level of consistency can only be achieved by removing as much entropy from the system as possible. And we do so, again, by scheduling that into the calendar at the same time every single week. 5, fit the myth, starve the doubt. Remember, the brain is not wired for success, but for survival. It is very good at scanning for threats in the environment, and if there's no threat, they will just invent phantom stimuli to get you out of the task, especially if that task that you have selected for yourself is hard. Every time you need to push past the resistance, past the strain of work, you will find yourself gravitating towards more pleasurable types of work, or just shadow work, or just bullshit work. So what you need to do is starve the doubt, is starve that impulse your brain has towards shallow work. So every time you feel that your brain is telling you that just don't do it, you don't really need to do it, just all the things that could be more productive, starve that and just push through and fit the myth that you're building, fit the vision that you have created for yourself. This is insanely powerful because you will be assaulted with those negative emotions or assaulted with that ideas that you could be doing something else at that moment. But that's not true. If you have selected a goal that is meaningful for your life, then chase it. 6, don't miss twice. Of course, we all miss from time to time. It is just normal. But the idea is that you never should miss twice, because when you miss twice, that's when it starts becoming a new pattern. So try to be consistent every single day. And if you miss out one day, the next day come back to the work. So you know that the pattern that you are upholding is working on that thing. The standard is very clear. And 7, and final one, and this is massive, get accountability. So one of the things that we do with our clients is that we give them personal performance coaches that take them from A to B, and they keep them accountable to results. And this is very important. Having someone to bounce ideas off, someone to keep you accountable of the things that you said you were going to be, is insanely powerful. So look for someone or something that can keep you accountable on the right things so you do not deviate. It's one more layer that you can put on top of your own willingness to do the right thing. So I hope this was useful. These 7 tips shall help you remain consistent from years at a time doing the hard things, because remember, those that get the most results are those that are able to sustain more damage and work on the hard things for longer. So I hope this is useful. Please use them and let me know in the comments if you learned anything and everything you want me to cover in future videos. See you in the next video.